Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Phoenix Trading Strategies, where strategic knowledge and information allows you to trade successfully. Today is July 8th, 2016. It is 8:12 a.m. Eastern Time. Today is non-farm payroll. Everyone looks forward to this great day of the month. U.S. jobs reports are coming out within the next 15 minutes. So before we continue, let's go over the disclaimer. Disclaimer. Future stocks and spot currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risk. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept them in order to invest in future stocks and forex markets. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. This presentation website is neither a solicitation nor offer to buy or sell future stocks or forex. The representations being made that any account holder is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed on this presentation or website. Past performance of indicators of methodology and not necessarily indicative of future results. Being that said and done, let's take a look at the calendar real quickly. So we're also expecting unemployment rate for Canada, so that'll be interesting. Average earnings for the U.S., non-farm employment change for the U.S. Last month was low. Expected jobs 175,000 this month. Unemployment rate should stay around the same, and we'll see. That should be it for the day. Normally on a day like this, they move the market pretty aggressively, and then they stop. So that's what we're looking for them to do today. Let's take a look and see if there's anything that we can identify here. Let's go to let's run the motion. Why is this stalling on me? Seriously? What is wrong with this? Oh no. Do not tell me that you froze on me. God, I hate when that happens. Alright, you're going to have to give me a minute to get this sorted out. Okay. Oh man, this is just not right. Normally gold does not move this way and it's setting up to come down. That's a bad sign. That's not a good sign, actually. That means that the jobs report is going to be very good. So we'll actually short gold. Wow. This is really, really interesting. But all right. Whoa. That was a move. I guess we won't. Boy, they're really inclined to just make a move, aren't they? That's a little bit overreacting, though. Haven't seen gold do that right before an announcement. Normally, they're very, they're flat. This is not the type of reaction that we normally get. So we're going to have to really watch this thing. All right, let's remove volume. Let's just go straight to this. They're going to the high. So that means that they're going to short. They never do this. It is rare. All right, let's take a position here at 1364. And if they're going to short, that means that the Euro USD is going to come down as well. This one is usually very reactive. They must have something's up, because this just doesn't make sense. The gold never reacts this way prior to an announcement, ever. It's a little bit unheard of for them to take such a position to reach the high, and with 3 minutes to spare, I mean, if it comes all the way back down, a minute to spare, I would be shocked. We're talking almost a $4 move to the downside. And I would actually be somewhat inclined to take a profit before the announcement, just to be on the safe side for the first trade. Let's see if they give us 5. No, they're going to hold right there. So our first trade will be, we'll book our first trade right here. No, wow, look at that, $5. Really? 2 minutes to spare? Yeah, we'll book a profit on you. Let's take a look at 2 minutes to spare. Wow. I have not seen that in a while. Not on gold. See, this doesn't seem to be right for me based on what gold just did. This is really, really deceptive. Let's take a look at the E-minis. This one looks to run up. Whoa. Crude. Crude seems to be planning to make a move up. US yen plans to make a move up. I'll buy the yen here, actually. And only because they came down to retest this level. Let's see if I'm right. That gold trade put us in a decent position. 1 minute to spare. No, did not play. Oh, wait a minute. Boy, these guys are real nasty about it. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Those deceptive robots. All right. So gold basically gave them away. Amazing. And you know, this thing's going to continue to run. We'll leave this one. Let's take a look at gold again. So here, for instance, yeah, we weren't wrong about gold. I mean, it came down like a stone, $20, and gold usually ends up moving more. It ends up moving a good 40 on a move like this. Wow. Amazing. You know, we were able to really decode what they were going to do based on what gold did. And, you know, that means that we're having a really good morning because we made almost 500 on gold. And we're up quite a bit here. So this thing's going to continue. Don't think that it's not. E-minis made a move up. They were also set to go long. Crude didn't go long. Look at that. But now it looks like it might. I would actually wait on crude before actually taking, because they're hitting the low. And I think that based on this, they're going to rally, not continue to go down. So I would actually be more inclined to go long on crude. Here, our risk is not much, you know, so let's give it a chance to play. They hit the low, but it doesn't seem like they would continue down, and the reason why is that they needed to come down before they went up. Their algorithm is working a little bit on the weird side, and the reason I'm saying that is because this thing's going to continue to rally. You know, that move that they made was not a big move against it. It was only 20 pips, which is, no, 15 pips. No, yeah, 15 pips, which was nothing before it rallied, and it's going to continue to go up. The Euro USD came down like a stone, and the pound dollar. But sometimes you'll need one trade to really make a difference. And crude is holding. And based on what the indexes are doing, the indexes are rallying. This thing should come up based on this. So I would be inclined to wait. Yeah, see, it's already moved, a few cents, 13 cents. So I'm not expecting a big move on crude, but I'm not expecting it to go short. Because this one, they first came down to test the low before making a move to the upside, but I think this one's going to do a mean reversion all the way up here, go to 45.90. And if I'm right, then that's a decent trade on crude. But we need to break above these levels here, 45.53, and then break above 45.70. So we're talking a 20-cent move in between these two moving averages, the 50, the 100, and the 200. So we're up 17, 18 cents on this. I'm bullish on this one actually. And here, I'm not too concerned that they actually came down. I would actually add a position here because this one's just going to continue to rally. They usually do this in the first 5-10 minutes. They make a move, then they come back, and then they continue. Most non-farm payrolls have been unemployment rate falls. So what were the numbers? Let's take a look at crude real quickly before we come back here. Yeah, see, this one was a high frequency candle, and it's still bullish. I would be more comfortable when it comes up here another 10 cents, another 15 cents. Then at that point I'd say, okay, we're in the clear, but right now they're just holding. So let's give them a chance to play it off. But the US yen, I'm still comfortable, we were in it here. Yeah, here on the first trade. Boy, they gave us a bad fill. What in the world? We added a second one, and that should have come up maybe a few pips. Not. We were originally in here at 144. 140. Yeah, 140 was our entry. And we added another position. They gave us a 20 pip spread. Wow. Oh, they're really, really upset that they're at a loss right now. But see, this one's gonna continue. This is not gonna stay. So I'm not too concerned about it. I feel that it'll come right back up. And we're still good because the first trade on gold was really solid. Let's see this one. I'm still inclined to hold this trade, even though it's not doing much. Let's take a look at these. Can't have a good jobs report and not have them take advantage of rallying the markets. This would be a great moment for them to rally it to 18,000. So something's wrong with them. But it seems we can't do much here. So book this and get out. It is what it is. Didn't play the way we wanted it to. Let's see the US yen. Still inclined on this one to stay long. And that means that this one should continue to go short from here. Unless they have plans to really not play the trade out completely and just move 80 pips and be done with it, but I doubt that. You can short the euro here, because I feel from here it will be a continuation trade and continue to come down. It should come down at least 30 pips from here, because it should be a continuation trade. They're holding liquidity because their hand has been dealt with. They don't have a choice at this moment. See this one, we should have been up a lot more on this one. I mean, in the initial trade we were long. They went against us, 15 pips, and then pop, we were up like 80 pips on the trade. It was a 100-pip move from here to here, but this thing should be continuous from this point on. So I'm not too Is there a lot of noise on the mic? What about now? Is that better? So I think you're going to like the video once we post it, because the video was great. The first trade, gold gave it away. They made the move very aggressively. We shorted it, and it continued. And we picked up right before the announcement a $5 movement, and then it just collapsed $20. But today, and then the US yen, we were in it long, and we're still in it. And this one, of course, like I said, I'm more inclined to stay short, but I'm concerned that they're not going to follow it out, not going to play it out. Normally by this time, they would be up 100, 120 pips. So if this thing doesn't break anymore to the downside, we may actually book a profit and be done with it. And that'll be the end of that. So sometimes it's best not to be in too many trades. Just manage 2 or 3 that will play out. So this one has to mobilize for us. If it doesn't, we're going to have to take a profit. Now, the US yen seems to be playing in our favor, and I think they're going to make the move from here up. So, we added a position here. Our break-even moved up here, which is a little strange because that means they spread us really wide on this trade. But it looks like they're going to play it. If they play this trade up, it should come right back up to 101.25. And then that'll make it a really grand trade. But we should see a reaction in the US, in the Euro USD, and we're not. This is where they need to break below this level very aggressively, and they're not. They're holding. So at this point, if it doesn't break below this level, we're going to have to exit this trade. This is a very crucial price level for them right now, and very, very determining for us as well. Yeah, see, it's not budging. So I'd rather just close the trade and stick to what we already have. See, this one's already moving very aggressively. And if it comes up here, So we booked 6 cents on crude. We booked 9 pips on the Euro USD. We booked $5 on gold. A $5 move on gold on one contract, and this one should come up. So we're up the equivalent of 70, almost 70 pips on the ones that we booked. This one is still open, and if it comes back up to 101.25, it should be a very nice trade for us. Come on, make that move. Go, 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 baby, go. And it should be the equivalent of a 1,500 pip morning. But we have to admit, gold was the one that gave it away. Okay. So let's let this play. So have you had your coffee today? Because I'm sure a lot of people had their coffee thinking the trade was going to go one way and they were wrong, and then we've been right. The past 2 NFPs, including this one. Let's add the volume price identifier here and the volume. Let's give it a minute. Oh, that British pound's just taking a beating. 129.33. Oh man, I don't think they ever realized how bad things were going to get for them. Now I haven't done anything on the carry trade because there's no carry trade right now, so I have to apologize to some of you that were expecting some literature on that. Okay, this is not good. See how they're settling negative here? This is bad. That means that we have to actually exit. So we'll book this trade here. And the reason why is because they're actually planning on coming down. I'll explain why. We played this trade for what it was, but see how they're settling negatively here? They have a negative delta. So they came up because they had to. No problem. But now they've been displaying negative volume settlement. And so that means this trade is over to the upside. Now, if that's the case, let's take a look at gold, because that means that gold could bounce back up. So let's give it a minute. Should have stayed on gold. Would have been a $20 move instead of the $5 move that we took initially on it. So now you know your trigger is right before NFP, look at gold. Last month, that gave it away. Yeah, see here, they have a bullish delta, so they're settling bullish. It came down quite a bit, make no mistake. We got in here at 1363, came down to 1336, which is quite a bit. But now it's holding. And normally when they do this, they'll come right back to the moving average. It's called a mean reversion trade. They trade away from it and then they come right back to it. Now, this is an inside bar held, and this one is not an inside bar. It's a bearish bar, but it has bullish volume. And now this one's settling with a bullish outcome as well. That's why we're seeing the reaction on the US yen to not go any further. Jobless rate rises to 4.9%. What were the numbers? Let's take a look at this. Because we're basing our trade off of a technical glitch that they had, which didn't favor them. Plenty of jobs. What's wrong with you guys? You should be going through the roof. Unless they don't want the dollar to get any stronger. And that would be the whole thing behind this. Wow. This is not good. I mean, they surpassed all expectations of job growth here, but unemployment rate is up. Average hourly earnings are down, which is not good. The Canadians made a move. Yeah, see, I'm not inclined to go. They should have made that move already, and they failed miserably to do so. I don't think they're going to really move a lot more. I mean, we can look at the U.S. CAD real quickly and see if that one gives us some sort of insight, but this thing should have continued from our, now, I'm not complaining. We've had a really good morning, for the first, since we initiated, for about a half hour, we've had nothing but positive trades. But at this point, I think that we want to sit on the sidelines and just wait, because there is nothing out there that makes sense for us to, hold on, let me pull out another chart now with the radar and see if we have anything that makes sense there. And I doubt that, but it's worth taking a look at. All right, let's pull this bad boy out. Okay, now this is strange. Everything rebalanced, okay. But now the euro and the US dollar, we're looking at US strength. We already saw that, but it's failed. Let's take a look at that again. Yen's up here, dollars here. We saw them weaken. And then now, it looks like they're going to continue, but I would be hesitant at this moment because there's no price action. See, they've taken liquidity out of the market. Could we have had a better fill? Maybe, but not really. Wouldn't have made much of a difference for us. Let's take a look at. Yeah, see, I'm not. They should have mobilized a lot more. They haven't. Normally by this time, this trade should be up 150 pips. And it's not. Let's take a look at that pound dollar. Let me remove some of these indicators. This indicates long, but I'm not sold on a long trade because this one sort of stopped it. It's an inside trade and it closed inside this bar. This is an inside bar closing here as well. And more importantly is that the point of control on this one is telling us that the buyers are not, on both, the buyers are not willing to continue to buy at a higher price. Granted, this one's higher, but this is an imbalance between the buyers and sellers. And so I would not be inclined to go long any further. But we're out. We're out and we don't need to continue. But this looks to me to go short. So let's let's take a position and see what happens. I'm not expecting a big trade, I'll be honest with you, but I do expect it to come down at least to 175 or 180, 15 pips. Let's see if it does that. Based on what this is announcing and this, see, this is a negative outcome. It's an inside bar and it had a negative outcome. Let me show you. Here's the volume indicator. See this candle? Had a negative outcome, had 309 million on the buy, 320 million on the sell. This one had a bullish outcome. This one had a bullish outcome, but the buyers did not basically announce they were not willing to buy at a higher price anymore. So this may have overdone it, and they never closed above this candle, which is a no-no. And so now this one is on the downside and has negative volume, as you can see. 117 on the buy, 134 on the sell, difference of 17 million. We're up 7 pips, 10 pips actually. Yeah, 9 pips, 10 pips. I'm not expecting a big move, so I would be shocked if they came all the way back down. But it looks to be legit. If it breaks below this level, then we could see it come right back down to 163, making it a 30 pip move. Let's hold. Let's see. Looks, you know, for all intents and purposes, we've got time. We're extremely positive with the outcome because we've booked already over the equivalent of 120 pips. This would make it 1,300 if we book right here a profit. But I'm willing to wait a little. I think they're going to give us another 10 pips. And that's the beautiful thing about non-farm payroll, that the volume and volatility is so high that it makes such a big difference. See, yeah, see, it hit right here. Now here, if it doesn't break below this price level, because it basically closed right at the trend dot, then it'll go back up and then we'll exit. But if it does break below, oh, they're in trouble. And this one did a very good job of basically closing below these previous 3 candles. So this one should be a continuous trade of the trend down, back. Let's see. Let's see. For those of you that missed it at the beginning, we right before the announcement, gold gave all the trades away. We booked a $5 trade on that down before the announcement, and then we went long on the yen. It moved against us 15 pips, and then it just went through the roof. We ended up closing with a 70 pip outcome there. We booked 6 pips on the Euro USD, and we booked 6 cents on the on crude, and then we booked 9 pips on the Euro USD. This one here is holding, but looks to be, see, at this point, it's not really playing out. It's a liquidity issue, and we don't really need to prove anything any further. You know, that's the honest part. We can book 10 pips and be done with it. Sometimes it's better to be safe and not sorry. And the reason I'm doing that is because this thing isn't coming down any further, but we know for a fact that they're not going to rally any further either, because it would be detrimental to the pound dollar and the euro dollar. So we've had nothing but positive trades so far. We haven't had one loss. So we are 5 for 5. Let's take a look at gold. Yeah, see, gold We got in here right before the announcement. We got out here. Should have stayed. Came crashing down $20. Oh my God. Crude. Look at that. It did come up the way I said it was going to. Conniving, deceitful market makers. They did rally up right exactly to where we said they were going to come up, to 45.85. We would have booked a 50-cent move on that. That kills. Let's take a look at the euro. Yeah, see, we got in here, we got out here, but nothing's changed. And I don't think anything will. I think they're done for the morning. The pound dollar. See, this one's already starting to come back, but it didn't really do much. 70 pips down is all it did. Not a big move. So I think that, based on what we're seeing, they're just going to come right back to the open. They came back to the open here. I don't think they're going to do much beyond where they're at. I think the market's going to go flat from here. So at this point, I'd like to say that we might be done for the morning. I will tell you one thing. You will enjoy the video. For those of you that joined us late. Let's see the US Swissy. Yeah, see this one moved the equivalent of what the yen, but see this one. See, I wasn't wrong. They came down even further on the US yen. We would have picked up 20 pips on this trade. And that means that they're coming right back down to the mean. We're late. There's nothing we can do here. The entry was here. I just didn't trust it any further because it didn't continue, but I think that's pretty much it for the morning, gentlemen. I don't really have anything more to show. Let's take a look at the indexes. They're going to continue to move up. See, they should make a move to 18,000 on the stock indexes right now. The signal was clear. We saw this one they played no games, unlike the US yen where they moved against us 15 pips and then popped. So let's take a look at that USD CAD real quickly to see how that played. Yeah, see, this one is already recovered. It's done a straight mean reversion trade. It went from 30.11 to 30.75. So that's a 60 pip trade, more or less, and it gave it all right back. This one is giving up quite a bit of information. Quite a bit of information, actually. Now, we haven't had that reaction yet here. Oh, but we did. Look at that. They came down and they rallied. Yeah, see, we've missed this trade. Let's see the New Zealand dollar, same thing. And the euro, that means the euro is coming right back up. See, we could take a position here and expect it to come right back up based on what the Aussie, the Australian dollar, and the New Zealand dollar have done, and not risk more than 10 pips at this point. That's all I would be risking. I wouldn't risk more based on that. That means that our stop loss would be at 120, at 110.26. Now, if those two currencies lead this, then we should pick up another 25 pips on this trade. There it is. See? Go, 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 go. That Australian-New Zealand trade basically let it off. Now we're 7 for 7. So, yeah, right to the mean. Really don't need to do any more here except book the trade. Don't need to risk any further. 23, 24, 26. Come on, let's see if you go back up. Go back up another 4 pips, and we'll book 30. Yeah, that's it. 28 pips. That's it. We're done for the morning. So, for those of you that are interested in learning more, what you need to do is send me a email, info@phoenixtradingstrategies.com. We will be posting this video. So let's make a recount of this. How many trades did we have? Okay, so we took gold short. All right, then we traded the euro long. That's one. This one, we traded the euro short. We traded crude. That's 3. We traded the US yen twice long. No, 3 times. So that's 5, 6. We traded gold 7. So we've had 7 trades so far, and they've all been positive. We're 7 for 7. I don't think anyone out there has that type of track record right now on a non-farm payroll announcement. So don't miss out Mondays and Fridays. I think you'd be missing out on quite a bit by not attending. We're having a really good time right now in the European session, since we started from the previous week. Again, after the Brexit, nothing but positive results. Great NFP, can't really complain about the outcome. I think that we're on track for a very good month this month. Regardless, these past 3 days have been a little weird during the U.S. session, but there's been no volume during the U.S. session either. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So wow, they did a straight mean reversion trade. We caught that puppy. Oh yeah, that was it. And it looks like they're going to continue on their path, but I think we're done for the morning. I don't expect them to do a lot more after these trades. I expect them to really just maintain around this level. I would say if you're looking for excitement, this is not the moment to be looking for excitement anymore. I'd say you should be very, very cautious at this point of how they're trading. I would normally say this thing should go long and move another 40, 50 pips to the upside, because it didn't do it here. They came right, they didn't even come all the way up. They came right to the moving average, but normally they will surpass that when they're doing a mean reversion. They'll come to it and then they'll surpass it. I just don't think that I want to continue with the trading anymore, because I don't want to ruin a good moment. You have 7 good trades in NFP. You don't need to really test it any further. You're more or less done. And you really only need 2 good trades, let's be honest. If you get 2 good trades, then what more can you ask for during NFP? If you get 7 trades, and you're positive, you don't really need to do much more than that. So we'll post the video. We'll send it out over the weekend. I think that you will enjoy it. It'll give you great insight on our strategy, on what we look for, and what gave away non-farm payroll, which no one was looking at, but we were. And that made all the difference for us in order to basically have success this day. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Have a great weekend. We will send the video out. You should receive it, and if not, then you can probably find it on YouTube tomorrow, on our Phoenix Trading Strategies channel on YouTube. So have a great morning, have a great weekend, and thank you for joining us today here at Phoenix Trading Strategies. Have a great day and great weekend. Bye-bye now.